The solutions for RRB JE Electronic CBT 2 for the examination held on 31st August 2019. Question paper solutions part 3 101 question. Sonal Mansingh is an Indian classical dancer. So Sonal Mansingh is correct option is D, Indian classical dancer. She is a dancer, guru, member of Rajya Sabha. She is known for her work at Bharatanatyam and Odissi and is also proficient in other classical Indian dance forms. Correct option is D. Next question. Who among the following founded Benares Hindu University? So this Benares Hindu University in Varanasi. So Madan Mohan Malviya, Pandit Madan Mohan Malviya established Benares Hindu University in 1916. Next question. So dual beam oscilloscope has two electron guns. So let us see the comparison of dual beam oscilloscope and dual trace oscilloscope. So in dual trace oscilloscope as well as in dual beam oscilloscope. So dual beam oscilloscope there are two electron guns and two vertical amplifiers are used and two signals are displayed simultaneously. Two separate beams are used. Whereas in dual trace CRO, one electron beam is used to generate two true traces, only one vertical amplifier. But in dual beam there are two vertical amplifiers. Two signals are not displayed simultaneously in dual trace CRO, but it appears to be displayed simultaneously. Same beam is shared between two signals. Size and weight is less. Here size and weight is more for dual beam CRO. Cost is also more, cost is less. Two different modes of operation, alternate mode and chop mode in dual trace. Two different modes, two different types using double gun tube and split beam using single electron gun. So in conclusion, dual beam CRO has two electron guns, two vertical amplifiers, two signals are displayed simultaneously, and two separate beams are generated. As per the question, dual beam oscilloscope has two electron guns, only one screen, two vertical amplifiers, one phosphorus coating, one phosphorus coating. So dual beam oscilloscope has two electron guns. It is having two electron guns, two vertical input channels, that is two vertical amplifiers, and cathode ray tubes and cathode ray tube. It can display two signals simultaneously on a single screen. The screen is also single. Two signals are displayed simultaneously in dual beam oscilloscope. Correct option is B. Next question. Which of the following components convert fixed DC to variable DC? So answer is chopper. So rectifier converts AC to DC signal, whereas chopper is a type of electronic switch that converts fixed DC input voltage to variable DC output voltage directly. So DC to DC converters, boost converters, matrix converters convert fixed DC to variable DC. So these three devices convert fixed DC to variable DC. So one is DC to DC converter, boost converters, matrix converters, as well as choppers. So these four converts fixed DC to variable DC. Next, we will see about cyclo converters, inverters, and rectifier. So rectifier converts AC to DC, whereas inverter performs the exact opposite operation of rectifier. It converts DC to AC signal inverter. Next, cyclo converter. It is a device that changes the frequency and voltage. Cycloconverter is a device that changes the frequency and voltage of alternating current without using an intermediate DC link. Cycloconverters are power electronic devices designed to convert electric power directly from one frequency to another frequency. So inverter converts DC voltage to an AC voltage. It is commonly used in power household appliances. Therefore, correct option is B. Chopper, DC to DC converters, boost converters, matrix converters. These convert fixed DC to variable DC voltage. Next question. The process of transferring data electronically from one place to other place is called data communication. So, data communication or data transmission. It is a process of transferring data electronically from one place to other. So, data transmission is a transfer of data over a point to point or point to multi-point communication channel. So option A is correct. Next question. Other than the sun, which is the next nearest star to the earth? So that is Alpha Centauri. Alpha Centauri is a triple star system, that is closest star system to our solar system. So this Alpha Centauri is a very closest to solar system, that is sun. It is located in the constellation Centaurus. Sirius is star in the constellation Cygnus Major, and it is the brightest star in the night sky, also known as dog star. So this Sirius is also known as dog star. So correct option is Alpha Centauri. So it is in the constellation of Centaurus, whereas Sirius star is in Canis Major constellation. Next question. The computer memory which allows simultaneous read and write operation is, so that is RAM. RAM is a computer memory that allows simultaneous read and write operations. It is also known as read write memory. So remaining ROM read only memory, EPROM erasable programmable read only memory, WPROM or E square PROM is electrically erasable programmable read only. All these are non-volatile memories. Non-volatile memories, whereas RAM is a volatile memory. So volatile means when the power is switched off, when the computer is switched off, all the data is lost. RAM is volatile, whereas ROM, EPROM, WPROM are non-volatile memories. So non-volatile memories means even though power is switched off, the data is will not be erased. In case of RAM, if power is switched off, if computer is off, the data will be lost, data will be erased. So therefore, the computer memory which allows simultaneous read and write operations is RAM, read only memory, or RWM, read write memory. Next question. The Red Data Book, which lists endangered species, is maintained by IUCN, International Union for Conservation of Nature. So IUCN is International Union for Conservation of Nature, maintains Red List of Threatened Species, also known as Red Data Book. It lists endangered species and tracks other conservation status. So next is the correct option is B. So in remaining options, UNO, United Nations Organization, WWF, World Wide Fund for Nature, WHO, World Health Organization. So these are the wrong options. The correct option is IUCN, International Union for Conservation of Nature. Next question. Dash is used to measure pressure directly. So from the given options, Bourdon tube pressure gauge is a mechanical device used and display the pressure. So direct measurement of pressure is Bourdon tube. Rotavator LVDT strain gauge. So rotavator is a device that measures volumetric flow rate of fluid in a closed tube. Volumetric flow rate of fluid. So that is rotometer. Next is LVDT, linear variable differential transformer. It is a device that converts linear motion into linear displacement into electrical signal. It is used for the measurement of linear displacement or position. Strain gauge. Strain gauge is a sensor whose resistance varies with applied force. This rotometer LVDT strain gauge is not used for the measurement of pressure. So correct option is Bourdon tube. Next question. A 4-bit binary ripple counter uses flip-flop with a propagation delay of 25 nanoseconds. So given counter is ripple counter. So ripple counters are also known as asynchronous counter. And the time delay of each flip-flop, the propagation delay of each flip-flop is 25 nanoseconds. Then maximum possible time required for the change of state will be, so that is clock duration is, so four flip flops, number of flip flops into propagation delay, so TD or TPD. Propagation delay of each flip flop is TPD is 25 nanoseconds. So there are n flip-flops, n is 4 flip-flops, and propagation delay of each flip-flop is 25 nanoseconds. So 100 nanoseconds is a correct option. So 100 nanoseconds is the possible time required for changing the state of flip-flop. So the maximum possible time required to change the state of flip-flop will be 100 nanoseconds. Option 1 is correct. If it is synchronous counter, then correct option is 25 nanoseconds. Here ripple counter is an asynchronous counter. The output of first flip-flop is connected to clock pulse of second flip-flop, and the output of second flip-flop is connected as clock pulse to the third flip-flop, and so on. It is an asynchronous counter. Therefore, total time required to change the state is n times of propagation delay of each flip-flop. For a synchronous counter, the time required to change the state is same as propagation delay of each flip-flop. Here the option is A, 100 nanoseconds. Next question. Digital voltmeter. So this digital voltmeter converts analog voltage to digital signal value. So digital voltmeter is an electronic circuitry that converts analog voltage being measured into an digital value. Correct option is B. Next question. What is the time required for time period of 555 multivibrator operating in monostable mode? So its time period is ln of RC, ln of 1 by 3, that is 1.1 RC. So time period of 555 timer in monostable mode is 1.1 RC seconds. Whereas the same 555 timer operating in a stable mode of operation, its time period is 0.69 RA plus RB into C. For monostable multivibrator, time period is 1.1 RC. So correct option is C. Monostable multivibrator 1.1 RC. Next question. The parallel outputs of a counter circuit represents. So the parallel output of a counter circuit represents clock count. That is, output indicates the number of clock pulses that have been counted by the counter. The parallel output of a counter circuit count the number of times an event takes place in accordance to the clock pulse. Next question. Which of the following is a secondary air pollutant? Ozone. So secondary air pollutant is ozone. So let us see what is primary air pollutant and secondary air pollutant. So primary air pollutants are substances that enter into the environment directly from their source. They can be physical, chemical, or biological. Examples of primary air pollutants are nitrogen oxide, carbon monoxide, sulfur dioxide, ozone, volatile organic compounds, lead, carbon monoxide, nitrogen oxides, sulfur oxides, volatile organic compounds, and aerosols. Whereas secondary air pollutants, so ozone is secondary air pollutant. Okay. Secondary air pollutants means the pollutants that are formed in a lower atmosphere by chemical reactions. So these secondary pollutants are harder to control because they have different ways of synthesizing and formation are well not understood. Secondary air pollutants are formed by these secondary air pollutants are formed by the combination of primary air pollutants in the atmosphere. Example is acid rain, which is produced from the combination of sulfur oxides and water vapor. Next is ozone. Ground level ozone is an example of secondary air pollutant. Secondary air pollutant is ground level ozone, particulate matter, smog. So that is example of London smog and acid rain. So these are the examples of secondary air pollutants. These are formed with the help of primary air pollutants in the atmosphere, in the lower atmosphere. So correct option is B. Whereas carbon dioxide, carbon monoxide, sulfur dioxide, these are primary air pollutants. A, B, C are primary air pollutants. C is a secondary air pollutant, that is ozone. B is a secondary air pollutant, ozone. Next question. The reciprocal of resistance is. So reciprocal of resistance is conductance. So correct option is B. So resistance is conductance. Resistance R is equal to, or conductance G is equal to 1 by R. So G is 1 by R. So unit of resistance is ohm, can be represented as omega. Units of conductance is mho. So that is can be represented with like this, or ohm inverse. ohm inverse. These are the units of conductance. So correct option is B. Similarly, conductivity, the reciprocal of resistivity is conductivity. With sigma is conductivity and rho is resistivity. Okay, next question. The probability density function of thermal noise is. So the probability density function of thermal noise is Gaussian. So similarly, the probability density function of envelope of narrowband noise is Rayleigh. The probability density function of envelope of sinusoidal plus narrowband noise is Rayleigh. In the question they have given so thermal noise probability density function, that is thermal noise probability density function, that is Gaussian. Next question. The headquarters of Biodiversity International is located at it is located at Rome. Biodiversity International, a non-profit research organization for development, it is established in 1974. The motto of the organization is agricultural biodiversity nourishes and sustains the planet. Its headquarters at Rome, Italy, and regional offices in America, Africa, and different parts of Asia. So correct option is A. Next, the rotation of water sprinkler used for grassland as soon as water is supplied is based on the principle of Newton's third law of motion. So Newton's third law of motion states that for every action there is equal and opposite reaction. So in this case, the rotation of water sprinkler used for grassland is based on Newton's third law of motion. That is, when water comes out of the sprinkler nozzle, it exerts an equal force on the nozzle in opposite direction. These equal and opposite forces cause the sprinkler to start rotating. Next, see Newton's first law and second law. So Newton's first law states that the object will continue moving at a constant velocity unless acted by an external force. So that is, a body continues to be in the state of rest or continues to be in the state of motion until unless if external force is acted on it. Newton's first law, it is also deals with the also called as inertial property of the matter. Therefore, Newton's first law is also known as law of inertia. Next, Newton's second law. Newton's second law says that force is equal to mass into acceleration. Force is mass into acceleration. Okay. Here the correct option is 3. Next question. So maximal divergence equation for magnetic field is given by. So maximal divergence equation for electric field is del dot D is equal to rho V. Similarly, Maxwell divergence equation for magnetic field is del dot B is equal to 0. So in the question, divergence equation for magnetic field, the correct answer is B. Del dot B is 0. Next question. Increased pulse width in flat top sampling leads to. So increased pulse width in flat top sampling leads to attenuation of high frequencies in reproduction because width of the lobe of spectrum decreases as pulse width increases. Thus as pulse width is increased, the width of the first lobe in the spectrum is decreased. Hence, increased pulse width in flat top sampling leads to attenuation of high frequencies in the reproduction. Next question. Which element has 10 electrons? Neon. Sodium atomic number is 11. It has one valence electron. Neon atomic number is 10. Its valence electrons is 8. Argon 18 atomic number. Helium 2. So here neon has atomic number of 10. Therefore 10 electrons. The total of it has a total of 10 electrons. Similarly, sodium atomic number is 11. It has 11 electrons. Neon atomic number is 10. It has 10 protons in the nucleus and 10 electrons rotating in the orbits. So correct option is B. Next question. The term delayed AGC implies the application of AGC only when signal strength is increased beyond the specified value. So delayed AGC is a type of automatic gain control that only applies when signal strength exceeds a certain threshold limit. There are two types of AGC circuits: automatic gain control circuits, what is simple AGC, and delayed AGC. Simple AGC, the gain control mechanism is active for high as well as low value of the carrier voltage, whereas in case of delayed AGC, the automatic gain control that only applies when signal strength exceeds a certain threshold. Correct option is B. Next question. What is the full form of FTP? So FTP stands for File Transfer Protocol. This file transfer protocol is used to transfer the files over TCP/IP, or it is a standard network protocol used to transfer computer files between client and server on a computer network. Next, Kirchhoff law will fail in case of. So these Kirchhoff laws are not applicable for distributed network parameters or transmission lines. So examples of distributed network parameters, transmission lines. So Kirchhoff law is not applicable for distributed network parameters. Remaining cases, these laws are applicable. That is, Kirchhoff laws KVL and KCL are applicable for all wave-shaped signals, including AC and DC. It is independent of nature of signal. That is, KCL and KVL are applicable for linear, non-linear, linear elements, linear element, non-linear element, active element, and passive elements. This KVL and KCL is applied for lumped network. So it is independent of nature of element. It is independent of type of a shape of the signal. But these KCL and KVL are not applicable for distributed networks, that is not applicable for transmission lines. This KVL and KCL are applicable for DL networks, linear networks, nonlinear networks, active network, passive network, lumped network, but not applicable for distributed parameter networks. Next question. Which of the following gases is evolved when baking soda reacts with acidic rain? So that is carbon dioxide. Sodium bicarbonate. So basic soda, sodium bicarbonate, NaHCO3. NaHCO3, when it reacts with acetic acid, CH3COOH, that is vinegar, it results in CH3COO, Na plus CO2 plus H2O. This is an acid-base reaction. Acetic acid is also known as ethonic acid, ethylic acid, or methane carboxylic acid. Vinegar is dilute acetic acid, generates carbon dioxide gas or sodium and sodium acetate, CH3COO, Na. So this is sodium acetate when it reacts with soda. So correct option is A, carbon dioxide. So NaHCO3, sodium bicarbonate, when it reacts with CH3COOH, that is vinegar, it generates sodium acetate plus carbon dioxide plus H2O. Sodium acetate is CH3COO, Na. This is a chemical reaction given. Correct option is A. Next question. A network has n nodes and 5 independent loops. Then total number of branches in the network. So the number of independent loops L is equal to B minus n plus 1. So in the question they have given n is 7, L is 5, and they asked to calculate number of branches B. So that is 5 is equal to B minus n plus 1. So that is B is 11. Total number of branches is 11. Correct option is B. Dash is a device which acts like an NPN and a PNP transistor connected base to base and emitter to collector. So that is SCR, silicon controlled rectifier. So silicon controlled rectifier has 4 layers, 3 junctions and a 3 terminal device, PNP and NPN. So symbol for SCR is given. So it has PNPN or NPNP structure with 3 PN junctions and 3 terminals. The operation of SCR is similar to PNP and NPN transistor connected to connected base to collector and emitter to base. The operation of SCR is similar to PNP and NPN transistor connected base to collector and emitter to base. Next, see so few more points related to UJT, diac and triac. So this is a symbol for diac and symbol for triac. So diac is a two terminal. It has two terminals, MT1 and MT2, main terminal 1 and main terminal 2, main terminal 1, main terminal 2. Similarly, track has three terminals: main terminal 1, main terminal 2, and gate. Diac is a bidirectional thyristor that can be triggered in either direction. So triac is also a bidirectional thyristor that can conduct in both directions. It has three terminals. Diac has two terminals. So diac means when two SCRs are connected anti-parallel without gate, and triac is two SCRs connected anti-parallel with gate terminal. So in this question, the correct answer is A. Correct answer is B. That is silicon controlled rectifier. It can act like a NPN and PNP transistor connected base to base and emitter to collector. Next question. Who sometimes referred as Paoli Express? So correct option is C. That is PT Usha. So she is nicknamed as Paoli Express, the grace, speed, and charisma of PT Usha, who notched up 5 medals in 1986 Asian Games, including 4 gold medals. Hence, the Queen of Track and Field. The other name is also Queen of Track and Field. So she is referred to as Paoli Express. Next question. What is zip drive? So zip drive is a medium capacity removable disk storage system. So zip drive is a removable disk drive that allow users to store and access data on their computers. So zip drives were introduced in mid 1990s by Lomega company. This is the name of manufacturer. They are similar to floppy disk drives but have thicker and have higher storage capacities. Zip drive is a removable disk storage designed for computers introduced in 1990s. So correct option is A. Next question. What is the effect of current shunt feedback amplifier? So current shunt feedback amplifier, output is current, output sampling, input is also current. So that is mixing. Shunt series topology, hence it is shunt series topology. It is also called current controlled current source. Example is cascading amplifier. In this current shunt feedback amplifier or shunt series topology or current controlled current source, input resistance decreases, output resistance gets increased. So correct option is A. Decrease in input resistance or increase in output resistance. Next question. Email address is made up of. So email address is made up of two parts. One is domain name and the second one is username. So general format of email address is username at the rate domain name. Email address composed of two parts, username and domain name. So in between symbol at the rate is given which separates username and the domain name. So username is the name user can choose for their email, and domain name is internet designation of email host such as company, organization, or a government entity. Next question. World Leprosy Day is observed on the last Sunday of January. Correct option is A. So to eradicate stigma associated with leprosy and to promote the dignity of people affected by this disease, World Leprosy Day is observed every year in the last Sunday of January. Correct option A. Next question. The technique of assigning a memory address to each I/O device in the computer system is called memory mapped I/O. It is a technique of assigning memory address to each I/O device in a computer system. Next, the I/O port acts as a gateway for data transfer. The I/O port acts as a gateway for the data transfer. It receives incoming data from external devices and sends outgoing data to them. Dedicated I/O. Dedicated I/O refers to I/O pins or ports that are specially assigned for particular function or a task. These I/O channels are typically fixed and directly tied to a specific features or peripherals of the system. Next is ported I/O. It is connected to a general purpose I/O port. These ports can be programmed and configured for different functions. Next is wired I/O. It refers to physical connections that provide electrical paths for the data transmission between the devices or components. Here, the correct option is memory mapped I/O. Next question. Dash is the average amount of information that must be delivered in order to resolve the uncertainty about the outcome of a trail. So, the average amount of information in the information theory, entropy refers to the uncertainty or amount of information in a random variable. Entropy is average amount of information in a message. Or one more definition of entropy refers to relative degree of randomness. And the formula for entropy is H is equal to sigma I is equal to 1 to m log 2 pi log to 1 by pi. bits per symbol. H is maximum if the probability of occurrence of all symbols are equal. For equiprobable symbol source, entropy is maximum. So the formula for entropy is H is equal to sigma is equal to 1 to m pi log to 1 by pi bits per symbol. Next, in the World Bank doing business ranking for 2019, India is ranked at dash position. In the World Bank ease of doing business ranking, India ranked from 77th position. Next question. The source of energy for a satellite is obviously it is solar cell. Solar cell is a primary source of electricity in an artificial satellite. Batteries are only for backup power. Few batteries are provided in the satellite only for the backup power in case of eclipse. So during eclipse, the satellite doesn't receive energy from the sun. So during such cases, during eclipse condition, to avoid the system failure, we are providing additional batteries. So for backup power, but the primary source of energy is solar cell. Next question. The maximum data rate for a channel of a noiseless 2 kilohertz binary channel is, here they have given binary channel, so number of levels is 2. Binary channel number of levels L is 2. The maximum data rate of a noiseless channel is determined by the Nyquist formula, and the formula is data rate R is equal to 2b log base L, 2b log L base 2. So here it is a binary channel. So L is number of levels is 2 and bandwidth is 2 kilohertz. Therefore, data rate R is equal to 2 times of bandwidth, that is 2k log L base 2. Log L is 2 base 2. Log 2 base 2 is 1. So it is 4k bps bits per second. Data rate is 4000 bits per second. So that is noiseless 2 kilohertz channel cannot transmit binary signals at a rate of at the rate exceeding 4000 bits per second. So beyond 4000 bits per second, this noiseless channel cannot transmit the bits. So correct option is C. Next question. Which among the following is a valid string function? strcmp. So in these options, strcmp is a valid string function that compares two strings and returns a integer value. Which Mughal emperor original name was Jahir ud Din Muhammad? So that is Babar. So Jahir is Babar and Jalaluddin is Akbar. So Jalaluddin is Akbar the Great. He is Akbar, or also known as Akbar the Great. Next question. But as per question, Jahir is related to Babar and Jalaluddin is related to Akbar. Next question. What are the advantages of electrical transducers? So in electrical transducers, there is no friction and there is no moving parts. Friction is not present and wearing is also absent in electrical transducers. These electrical transducers are highly sensitive when compared to mechanical transducers. Electrical transducers are compact in size and portable compared to mechanical transducers. These electrical transducers power consumption is also less, more accuracy, less noise immunity, easier to calibrate with with digital output. So the advantages of electrical transducer is it reduces the effects of friction. It is small in size and portable. So large is wrong. Large and portable is wrong. So correct option is D. Reduces the effect of friction. Next question. So when was the first economic census conducted in India? The first economic census, it was conducted in 1977. The first economic census of India was conducted in 1977, excluding Union Territory of Lakshadweep. It was carried out in collaboration with Directorate of Economics and Statistics. Similarly, the second economic census was conducted in 1980 and third economic census was conducted in 1990. Fourth one took place in 1998 and fifth economic census was conducted in 2005 and sixth in 2013. Okay. In the question, they have given first economic census, that is 1977. Next question. For which of the following calculations can superposition principle be applied? Superposition principle is applied for voltage and current calculations, but this superposition principle is not applicable for power calculations. It is not applicable for calculating the it is not applicable for nonlinear elements, not applicable for circuit having initial conditions, not applicable for power calculations, since power is a nonlinear parameter. So let us see the statement of superposition theorem. Superposition theorem states that in any linear bilateral network having multiple independent sources, the response across any element in the circuit is equal to algebraic sum of responses of that element by considering each source at a time, provided that remaining sources are replaced by their internal resistances. So correct option is D. Next question. Lion-tailed macaque is found in These lion-tailed macaques are found in Western Ghats of India. They live in tropical rainforest and elevated mountain sides of this mountain range. Which of the following is a non-linear data structure? So data structures are of two types: linear data structure and non-linear data structure. Examples of linear data structures are stack, queue, linked list, and array, whereas non-linear data structures are graph, trees, and heaps. So in the question, the correct option is C. Graph is a non-linear data structure, whereas stack, linked list, and array are linear data structures. Next, the units of gravitational constant G is, so meter cube, kg inverse, second square, or Newton meter square by kg square. So the value of G is 6.67 into 10 power minus 11. So SI unit of gravitational constant G is meter cube second square kg inverse. Second minus meter cube by second square per kg. Next question. India's first global mega science exhibition, Vignan Samagam, started at Mumbai. So correct option is C. First global science mega exhibition started at Mumbai, and Vignan Samagam to reach Bangalore, Kolkata, New Delhi after Mumbai in its 11-month journey. And the organizers of this mega science exhibition is DAE, Department of Atomic Energy, DST, Department of Science and Technology, and NCSM, National Council of Science Museum. These are the organizers of this mega science exhibition. Next, a network is said to be linear if and only if. So a linear network satisfies the principle of homogeneity as well as principle of additivity. Both the principles are to be satisfied by a linear network. So principle of additivity is if input x1 of t produces output y1 of t, if input x2 of t produces output y2 of t, then combined inputs, sum of the inputs x1 plus x2 of t produces the output y1 plus y2 of t. So this is principle of additivity. Next, principle of homogeneity is if its input is scaled by a amount, then output is also scaled by the same amount. That is principle of homogeneity. If both principles are satisfied, then network is said to be linear. Otherwise, it is a non-linear network. So correct option is C. Next question. Which of the following is the safest ladder while working with the electrical appliances? So this fiberglass is the safest ladder when working with the electrical appliances, since fiber is a non-conductor of electricity. So rest, aluminum ladder, steel ladder, and metal ladder, and these are metals. They will conduct electricity freely. Hence, we should never use aluminum, steel, and metal ladders while working with electrical appliances. So while working with electrical appliances, these three metal ladders should not be used, whereas fiberglass ladder is the safest. Next question. In an ER diagram, the attributes are represented by. So in entity relationship model, the attributes are represented by ellipse or ovals. Ellipse or ovals. So rectangle represents entities. Ellipse represents ellipse represent attributes. So diamond represents relationship among the entities, and single line represents attributes to entities and entity sets with other relationship types. Next, so double ellipse represents multi-valued attributes, and double rectangle represents it is a weak entity. So this model, entity relationship model, is used to model the logic view of a system for a data perspective which consists of various symbols. So in the question they have given ellipse, ellipse, it represents attributes in the entity. So this entity relationship model is a pictorial representation of data that describes how data is communicated and related to each other. Entities, attributes, and relationship among the entities can be characterized with the help of this entity, attribute, and relationship among the entities can be characterized with the help of ER model. So entity is ellipse. Next question. Which of the following is has the highest electrical conductivity? So conductivity sigma is a measure of material ability to conduct electrical current. So conductivity is reciprocal of resistivity. And the units of conductivity are Siemens per meter or mho per meter or ohm meter inverse. So the conductivity in descending order is, so silver is having more conductivity, followed by copper, gold, aluminum, iron, cobalt, carbon steel, and lead. So as per this question, in the given options, silver is having highest conductivity. So highest electrical conductivity is for highest electrical conductivity. It is not thermal conductivity. It is electrical conductivity. Highest electrical conductivity is for silver. So correct option is C.